Is going to get canceled.
Yep.
So the money is going to be refunded back to that.
And of course, this sort of pop-up deliberately freezes your PC. Over those days, I created a one-page version of how
It's going to get canceled.
Yep.
So the money is going to be refunded back to that gift card.
And of course, this sort of pop-up deliberately freezes your PC. So over those days, I created a one-page version of how that organisation fitted together.
This is an emergency call from Visa Secure. There is an online transaction of £600 from your account.
I've always wondered what scam call centres looked like.
Critical alert from Microsoft.
To get canceled.
Yep.
So the money is going to
Tonight,
be refunded
we're
back
going to be
to that
chatting
gift
with
card.
Jim Browning. Now, for those who
And of
don't
course,
know
this
him,
sort of pop-up
Jim
deliberately
Browning is
freezes
one
your
of the
PC.
most amazing
So over those
Scambaiters.
days, I created a one-page version
He
of how that
has
organisation fitted
managed to
together.
infiltrate more call
This
centres
is an emergency
and
call
get
from
them
Visa Secure.
shut
There is
down
an online transaction
than
of
anybody else I
£600
know.
from your
It's-
account.
It's quite incredible.
I've always
So,
wondered what
He's
scam
gonna
call
give us,
centres looked
we're
like.
gonna have a chat with him and
Critical alert from
try and keep it
Microsoft.
nice and gentle. I'm just going to call him now.
Yeah, hello, Mr. Mike here on Scam Street. How you doing?
Mr. Jim Browning, how are you? Now let's just check everybody can
do that.
hear.
Yeah, it's a little low. I think I was listening in on the volume. Hopefully we're...
Hopefully,
a
is
little
that
bit
better
better.
for everybody? I hope.
Deliberately freezes your PC.
I'll have to rely on the others to see whether the...
If anybody
Audio's
can
alright?
tell me what's happening, everything's okay. Low volume. Let me try and do something about that. I've got to get back to my stream.
What scam call centres looked like.
Okay. I think it is a little bit better now.
Yeah, okay, I'm talking rather more loudly than I was before.
Okay.
And I've also managed to get
Hello,
myself
Mr.
in the wrong
How you
place
doing?
on... Mr. Jim Browning, how are you? Now there we go, I found it. Okay, I'm back. Right, I'll turn the volume
it's a
up.
little
How's
low. I
that?
think
Is that
I
better
was
for
listening
me?
in on
And
the
I
volume.
can turn it...
Hopefully
If Jim, you talk now and see if everybody can hear
Yeah.
you.
Okay, hopefully I can. Yeah, hopefully I'm audible now. It's a little bit hard to hear your own audio, so I'll rely. I'm one of these people who get annoyed by not so much the robocalls themselves, but people saying that, oh, there's nothing that can be done about that. I'm kind of an engineer at heart. I am an engineer, and when someone tells me you can't do this or that's impossible to do, it's almost like a challenge for me, and I like to kind of go in, find out how something works, and in my case, I kind of like dismantling them. So that's a roundabout way of saying one of these people who get annoyed by not so much thought I could be in a position to do something about robocalls, and I think if you have enough tenacity and a little bit of technical knowledge, I suppose, then you can actually do something about it. So yeah, it's a bit of a challenge for me, and it's worked out pretty well. I've
Yeah.
managed to get to the bottom of a lot of these.
Yeah, you're right. It's I think the first time I got interested in scam calls was it was the car insurance one where they phone you
Yeah.
up and say, "Have you had an accident in the past 3 years?"
Yeah, yeah.
And in fact, I think that's one of my most watched videos actually. But
Uh-huh.
that was I decided to call them and make a recording of it and make a video of it, and went right the way through to being put through to a firm of lawyers in India somewhere.
Okay.
But it was a British company that was forwarding the call across. So it was
Oh,
interesting.
was it that way around? Because
Yeah.
the ones that I have heard are, and they annoy me too. I get them all the time, and it's usually, sadly, an Indian voice, and to begin with, and it'll be, "Have you had an accident? Give me the details of it." And then my impression was that they took your personal data and they sold it to these ambulance chasing for these legit lawyers, ambulance chasing firms in the UK. So I always thought it was that way around. That obviously there's lawyers or whoever in the UK who have basically said, "Generate me some leads, please,"
Yeah.
and that they're buying them. I always thought it was that way around.
Actually, the one I got caught with was actually a British company, and they were in Britain. They did have a British office, but
Okay.
when they went through the screening process and told you how much you could make from this and how much you were standing to get in insurance claims and things like that, the final stage of it was being put through to a law firm in India that raised the
Okay.
paperwork.
Interesting. Okay. Okay.
But like they get loads of these, and Laura H just said that she gets these calls all the time. I do. I think I've had
Yeah.
3 in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But
I get them all the time, Laura. You I think we're all in the same boat. I think if you're in the UK, that is probably the most common robocall
if you're
that you get.
anywhere in Europe, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
was I got one the other day. This is really common now. The your Amazon Prime account will be charged $39 if it's
Yeah.
okay with you. Just let it go. If not, press 1 or say stay online to speak to
Yeah.
one of our agents, that sort of thing.
Very adaptable. Yeah, I've heard that one. I've heard. Well, yeah, just back from the live stream, I've actually picked up the actual robocalls
Yeah,
that particular call center were using, and they pretend to be, as you say, Amazon. There is Apple in there, Facebook. You basically name a large company, and they will pretend to be them.
yeah. The other one that's a bit annoying because you sort of think they're a real person at first is the robocall with a pause in the
Yes.
voice.
Yeah.
Hello, and you say hello. Yeah, my name's so and so from this company, and oh, he had an accident, and then they
Yes.
leave a gap, and you think, I know what this is.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting. I've had those, and first thing I ask is, "Are you a robot?" And if you use the word robot,
hmm
it hangs up the call instantly. Try it out and see if you get the same thing. But
Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to try that.
try "Are you a robot?" and just see what happens.
Yeah. Jack Ryan asks,
Mm.
do you see many scams in places like New Zealand?
Oh,
I
interesting. Now the there's definitely Australian ones. I mean, I've seen Telstra mentioned a load of times, and I've seen data being loaded into robocallers for states in Australia, but I've never seen any for New Zealand. I could be wrong, Jack, but I have yet to see a New Zealand one.
Yeah, I don't recognise any New Zealand. Certainly don't recognise any. Um, I would have thought though that if it was in Australia, it would be in New Zealand as well. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
they're sort of people from not in Australia or New Zealand tend to think of them as quite similar places, don't they? But
yeah. I know it's not good, is it? I'm
no,
probably I've committed a cardinal sin
I
by
did. Yes, I was a
equating
bit.
the two. I know it was
Yeah.
probably me as well, but no, I haven't seen New Zealand. Uh,
Rightful recordings. Why are most scammers Indian? Well, do you know what? They're not. Lots of them are, but they're not all
yeah,
Indian by any means.
I've got to say that the tech scammers are primarily Indian. Now, there's other sorts of scams like romance scams, IRS scams, CRA scams that I don't go after because I can't get enough information on those guys. But
Yeah.
I have actually got a spreadsheet, believe it or not, with where I've recorded, 419
That's
scams
it.
as
The
well.
Nigerian love
Yeah,
scams, the 419.
which, and I don't go after those, but I obviously do go after the tech ones.
Yeah.
And I've got a spreadsheet which has got IP addresses of every single connection where I've managed to pick up a legit IP address. And 99% of them are in India. Actually, in the last 2 years, I can tell you what my figures are.
Hmm.
Are that out of a total of almost 100 calls in 3 years, there are exactly three which weren't in India.
And these are
Um,
all tech support ones, though, yeah?
all tech support ones, but
Yeah.
so I've got to qualify that by saying
Yeah.
I only go after those types of scams. So if you're talking only tech scams, it's 99%. I guess all scams, no, I'd guess Nigeria has to feature up there
Yeah.
somewhere.
Nigeria. Remember Captain Corrosive? She
Yeah, yeah,
was brilliant at these 419 scammers, wasn't she?
yeah.
Well, she still is probably, but
Still is. Yeah,
she would lead them on for months and months at a time.
yeah, yeah.
There was one she did where she actually got the guy to prove
That is great.
that he
Yeah.
was going to what he was doing by taking photographs of himself in different places and carving her name into a tree and stuff like that. She was just incredible. And then when she sent him some money, he'd asked for something like $3,000, and she sent him three or something like that, just to make him go to the Western Union to collect it.
Yeah, they're brilliant, and I'm sure you've seen the website 419eater.com.
Yeah.
Some of the trophies that are in there are just brilliant.
Uh-huh.
The Skeleton Coast, no pun intended, Skeleton Siski. The Skeleton Coast one is just brilliant. The one with the GPS tracker. If you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth a read.
Yeah. I like that sort of thing where people are dragged along for a long time,
Yeah,
and they really don't know what to expect until the end, and then I would have loved to have seen that guy's face, that guy in Nigeria's face when Captain Corrosive finally let him down. Oh, it was so
yeah.
good.